Hey everybody, I'm Wayne, and this is
Wendy.
Wendy's my wife. And this is Quick Thoughts with Wayne, and today, Wayne and Wendy. And we're at a marriage retreat, and so I thought, what better day to share a little something about marriage than today with the love of my life. Oh. So this comes from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. It says, "Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. He is the Savior of the body. Now as the church submits to Christ, so wives are to submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her, to make her holy, cleansing her with the washing of water by the word. He did this to present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or anything like that, but holy and blameless. In the same way, husbands are to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hates his own flesh, but provides and cares for it, just as Christ does for the church, since we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This mystery is profound, but I am talking about Christ and the church. To sum up, each one of you is to love his wife as himself, and the wife is to respect her husband." And so Paul is giving the Ephesian Christians there some of the best marriage advice that could possibly ever come. And that is, wives, respect your husband, and husbands, love your wives. And I think sometimes the idea of a wife submitting to her husband gets a bad rap, but Wendy has always been submissive to me, and not in a like a servant type submission, but more just in respecting the leadership that I have in the house, and I hope that I've always been loving to you. So and when you read that passage, the thing that's interesting is that Paul spends a whole lot more time talking to husbands about being loving than he does talking to the wives about being submissive. And so I think that's maybe because for women, perhaps it comes kind of natural to be submissive to a man that loves you, but I don't know if loving necessarily comes quite as natural to a man. And so Paul is wanting to make sure that we understand what it means to love our wives. And so for you guys out there who are married, Paul is very clear that loving your wife is equal to loving yourself. So the same way that you would take care of yourself, the same way that you would look out for yourself, the same way that you would try to meet your needs and provide joy and happiness for yourself, you should be doing that same thing for your wife, because she is part of you. And I believe that when a husband gives Christ-like service and love to his wife, she doesn't have a hard time submitting to him. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
And so guys, if you feel like maybe you're not being respected, maybe you need to ask the question, am I really loving? And because I believe that God has so wired women that when they receive love from their husband, that they don't have a problem with following his leadership. We didn't put this on silent. And then on the other hand, guys probably find it a lot easier to love a woman who respects them. So I read a book years ago, and the name of the book was Love and Respect. And the whole idea behind the book is, hey, if you're a husband who doesn't feel respected, love your wife. Because when you love your wife, she'll eventually come around to respecting you. And hey, wife, if you're a husband who does, a wife, nowadays you don't know, but hey, if you are a woman who doesn't feel loved properly by your husband, then show him respect, and eventually he'll come around to loving you. So check out that passage when you have some time to read it. It's awesome. And listen, one whole little nugget that we didn't even get into, but you could spend a whole nother quick thought talking about, is how Paul paralleled a marriage with the relationship that Jesus has with his church. So in that relationship, the church is the wife, the bride, and the husband is the husband is Christ. So check that out and read that, because that's some interesting stuff there as well. So thanks for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow, and Katie's going to have a quick thought for you. I'm here with the love of my life at a marriage retreat in beautiful Chattanooga, a beautiful city, beautiful scenery, and a beautiful woman. What else could you hope for? Hey, this is Wayne. Thanks for watching. And this is
Wendy.
She said like 5 words the whole time. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope this encouraged and blessed you. Like, share, subscribe, and tune back in tomorrow. See ya.